Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to yet another video sock drawer. Today is something a little bit different, and I know that everybody and their mother's been doing videos on Cuphead, but I thought I'd offer something a little bit different to the table. You see, I have a really deep interest of speedrunning and the speedrunning community, and since Cuphead was new and released and everybody thought it was super duper hard, I thought it might be a perfect game to attempt to speedrun, and as of this video, this is going to be my application. This is the third fastest time for this category in the world, which is the simple all bosses run. And yeah, so we're going to break it down. And if you guys are interested in speedrunning or anything like that, then maybe this will be interesting to you. Or if you just want to watch Cuphead get beaten to death in 22 minutes. Yeah, this is pretty much where you want to go. There'll be a league video tomorrow, so don't worry about that. But for the meantime, if you're into speedrunning, sit back, relax, and I'll commentate the video. I'll tell you all the tactics that I use and everything that all my thought processes throughout the course of the video. Alright, so this is my first time ever commentating a speedrun. I do the save. Time starts on the save select, so we're 0 seconds straight into this right now. The first thing you're going to notice is a lot of load screens. I'll explain that in a little bit of time. So first of all, we go into Elder Kettle's house. What you can do, usually you have to have a conversation with them, but you can actually exit to map to skip that entirely. Now, the thing that I was going to say about load screens is that the timer pauses during every single load screen. I don't know why this is, but it's part of the category, so I do it as well. Anytime there's a load screen, I'll pause the timer. So first of all, we go talk to this apple, gives you 3 coins. This is the one and only run and gun we do throughout the entire run. And this one was actually pretty damn clean. I think I backtrack a little bit. I do a little bit of a wiggle there so I can get the coin without going up onto the platform. Beyond this, pretty clean. This is probably the part of the run where I'm like, okay, this is either going to be really good or really bad if I can dodge well enough. As you can see, there's some pretty smooth movements. I thankfully don't take many hits. Sometimes it is better to just take a hit though. I do actually take a couple hits here. I miss the jump, end up taking a little bit of damage. It's not that big a deal though. I can easily be on 1 health and do this without any difficulty. Just got to move forward slightly, edge forward, move away from the acorns, all good. Go under these piranha plants as well. These are actually on a global timer, if I'm correct. So the time I got there meant that I could basically just skip out a lot of the plants, which would normally hold people up. This is actually way faster than the world record, as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm aware, I've compared it to the world record, and my first half up till about World 2 is actually world record pace, but I start to lose time a little bit later on. I actually die in this run as well, which is super bad. So we go into Pork Rinds Emporium. There's 2 things that are going to make this run that are pretty much just part of like the way to make it faster. So we get the lobber and we get the roundabout, which are 2 different attack types. So we immediately quit out, pause the timer. We go into our equip menu and we have to just equip these as fast as possible. And you'll see exactly why we do this in the next fight, which is the root pack, which we're going into now. So basically what you do when you use this attack is you very rapidly switch between both attacks at the same time. So you're constantly slapping the change attack button, which I have remapped to my right trigger to make it a little bit easier on my fingers, because if you played the game, I think it's like mapped to Y if you're using a controller. Very difficult to press if you're also jumping and dashing and doing all this stuff. So I've got my dash mapped to LT, and I've got my weapon change mapped to RT. So yeah, that was a really quick boss. Very simple, very easy. I can basically just tank hits on this guy, no problem. 24 seconds, not my fastest time. I think my fastest is like 21, 22, which isn't much faster. But during speedruns like this, a second makes a very big difference. It's unbelievable. I think the difference between the world record is about 25, 26 seconds, maybe. I think it's like around that region. So that is like the difference. That could be world record pace if it got to that point where we're on the run. So yeah, we got Ruby and Croaks here. Very simple. I don't prefer them starting with that attack. Usually he either shoots out flies or does the spinning punches. I'd rather he shot out the flies because it's kind of a little bit easier for me to hit them both together. But yeah, really easy, really simple. I can take hits all I want. I can tank the hits. This wasn't as fast as I wanted it to be. Usually I want to kill him before he shoots out that little ball, but I didn't get it. But it's not the end of the world, because at this point I'm still like on a really fast split. I'm like quite ahead of my PB right now, which is fantastic. So we exit out, pause the timer while we load up again, and yeah, we're on to Goopy Le Grand here, which is going to be our third boss. There's Not a whole lot really to the first world bosses, to be honest. Like Goopy Legrand, you'll see once again pretty much just a tank and spank. All you gotta do is just like run at him, slap him as much as possible. There's really not much to it. There's only like one tip I could give. If you're fighting this boss casually, there's something that a lot of people when they fight this boss, they try and move away from him when he does his boxing punch. Just duck. That's literally it. Like all you gotta do is duck, and even if you're under, like even if his hitbox is touching you, as long as it's not at the beginning of his model, it seems to not hit you at all. It's really weird. But yeah, really simple, really easy fight again. He doesn't have his tombstone phase in this. You might be noticing that a lot of the phases of these bosses actually aren't coming up. This is simple mode, so it cuts out the last phase of every single boss in the game, which some people might think, oh yeah, it makes it a whole lot easier, which is true, but I prefer it personally because I like going fast, and it makes it a lot faster to do that. So we pick up the airplane here. Instead of doing the tutorial, it's much faster to just exit out through the menu rather than go down all the way to the bottom right of the screen and select the exit through there. So we're on to Hildeberg now, which is like, this is a run killer for me for some reason, just because I haven't gotten down how to do it fast enough yet. I think I get down to like 1 HP, but it's really not that big a deal. If I play it safe, like any of these fights are like pretty simple, they're not that difficult. However, when you want to go fast, you do dumb stuff, and you end up making silly mistakes, which I end up doing because I die in this run, and that's just kind of my fault. So after this, you tank Hilda a little bit, you do a bit of damage, turns into Taurus first, pretty much guaranteed. After that, she'll go back in her main form, throw out a Whirlwind, and then she'll turn into Gemini, which is going to be one that is a little bit RNG based as far as I can tell, but it's still not too bad. As long as you have at least 1 health, it's really not the biggest thing in the world. So she goes into Gemini here. The thing about this one is she drops an orb in the left of the screen, which randomly will pick a spot to start from, and then it will start spinning around and attacking. If I have been multiple times very unlucky where I have been like low HP and ended up getting hit by this because it starts at the pixel, the area that I'm in, and it's too fast for me to escape. But thankfully, the RNG gods blessed me on this day, and this is a pretty fast knockout. I think this is like 117-ish. Could have been a lot faster, but I think that was a gold split actually. So that was my fastest split ever for Hildeberg. It was 108 actually. What am I thinking? That was way faster than I thought it was. So that is like my fastest split ever. My PB on this before was 23:38, which is still really fast. Even that is like the 3rd in the world, but I managed to cut it down by about 1:10, which is fantastic. I think I had some close calls, and the thing is, even with a death, I literally lost about 30 seconds on that death, and I still managed to get a PB, and still managed to cut it down by 1 minute, which shows massive amounts of improvement. Now, Cagney Carnation, really simple. Once again, all you gotta do is tank him, just constantly switching your attacks. You do so much damage. Really not that big a deal. He throws out the little whirly things. I mean, you can just tank them if you really want to. I believe that there is like an exploit where you can bug him if you like run into him when he's doing that, but I don't personally use it. I don't want to devalidate the run, so I'm just doing mechanics of the game. There's actually a bug towards the beginning of the game when you talk to the apple. He gives you like a little speech bubble, and he talks to you for like 3 or 4 chats, like chat bubbles. You can actually skip that, and I've skipped it a couple times in a row, but I don't know how I did it, and I can't replicate it. I have no idea under any circumstances how the hell you do it. Now, this is World 1 done. We've done World 1, we're on to World 2, so that's a sub 7 minute World 2, or World 1, sorry, on Cuphead. Really fast. Pause the game again. We're going into this. We start with, as you can see on the splits at the side, we start with Beppy the Clown. This is my weakest part of my game. This is the part of the game that I either like, the run's over, the run is like got a good start. So, this one, I think this run, or this boss, was kind of close. But yeah, it's the ducks are the things that always like mess me up. Like literally every single time I have a bad run, it starts with me getting hit by one of the ducks at the top of the screen because I'm trying to dodge him and also deal as much damage as possible. Second phase, really easy. All you gotta do is just keep jumping, switching your attacks. I can tank a hit there. It's not that big a deal. I've still got a spare one. Now this part is always the one that gets me. Whether or not he shoots it out in a straight line or shoots it out in an arc messes me up really hard. So he shot it out in an arc there. I guess the next time he does it, he's going to shoot out in a straight line, so I duck down. I do as much damage as possible before they drop down, because if they do, that's going to be bad times. But I actually get a pretty quick kill on that one. and I'm almost a minute ahead of my PB on this time, so it's really, really good. 42 seconds isn't the fastest time that I've done it in ever, but still, I'm really happy that I survived, which is the main thing, and I just want to try and maintain that pace, which is what I do for the end of the run. For most of the run, I manage to maintain that pace, even if I die later on. Baroness von Bonbon is probably like one of the other ones in this world. Like, every other boss is fine, but this one in Beppy can like really mess me up. So she has the RNG mini bosses that she sends out, either a gobstopper, a gumball machine, a candy corn, or a waffle. I do not like the candy corn. I do not want the candy corn. I don't want anything like that. So gumball, waffle, and the gobstopper, sorry, are pretty much like what I want. Those are the ones that I want, and I think I actually do get them as well. Yeah, I get the gumball machine like third time, which is absolutely perfect for me. Causes her to go up on her roof of her castle and start shooting at me. If you can get underneath her and not get hit by the little knights at the bottom, you can basically just shoot supers at her. And if you use the roundabout one, it cuts through the shots that she fires at you, which kind of makes you a little bit invulnerable, which is good. God, I'm dying here. Talking too much. But yeah, pretty easy fight. Surprisingly easy fight, considering that has killed my run multiple times. Up onto this one, basically just talk to this guy, gives you an upgrade for your plane. I used to not use this. My PB before this was not using the bombs because I had no idea about them. I completely, it completely slipped my mind. Yeah, good speedrunning, completely forgetting something that saves time. But it does cut this time down a little bit here. I think I take damage on this first phase, which is kind of stupid. It's a little bit, like, this particular attack for this particular weapon and this particular style, not very nice. The first phase is always a little bit iffy. You can take one hit or two though, because like you generally don't take much damage on the rest of the fight beyond that, which is pretty good. I don't take any more damage, I don't think, or if I do, it's not that big a deal, because I'm pretty comfortable with like the rest of the fight beyond this. And if I do take damage, it might just be for the sake of getting more hits in, or like being able to like get a couple supers in. So yeah, easy fight. Punch out the faces. Now I'm not sure if like the faces do extra damage if you hit more than one in a line, but it definitely charges your super anyway, so like I just go for it regardless, because like there's no reason not to. Really quick phase 3, like that was like surprisingly quick. Like I got him out of that really fast. Do as much damage as possible here. He goes into his puppet form, which is pretty simple. The tendency is that he'll go for the purple parryable shot on the third shot, so I protect that, go for the third parry. I ended up getting hit because I was like, the little turban was like getting up in my grill pretty hard, but we got a knockout, and now I'm like 1 minute 14 ahead of my PB, which is ridiculous for me at least, and it's pretty fantastic. But I'm hoping that maybe like watching this, like you can maybe get a grasp of some of the bosses a little bit easier. Honestly, they're more scared of you than you are of them, so it's really not all that bad. But yeah, we're like halfway through World 2 already. We got 2 more bosses to go, then we're on to World 3. This next boss is called, like, was it Wally Warbles? Kind of a boring boss. I'm not like that much of a fan of it. It's another airplane one. I don't really like the airplane ones all that much, purely because I don't have as much control over them, because I'm really bad with using the bombs. As you can see, I took a hit there, and this was actually a really close fight. I had to go into like safe strat mode because I'm pretty sure I took 2 really silly hits early on in the fight. Like, actually, I think I took 2 hits before he even went phase 2. So I was just like, okay, yeah. Now, usually, like, if you're playing regular mode, the going at a 90-degree angle to the wall would actually protect you from the eggs. On simple mode, they actually only shoot out at a 90-degree angle, like up and down on the screen, as you can see at the left side, which is which put me off at first because I didn't realize the first time I played this on simple, had no idea, ended up taking damage. But it's pretty simple beyond that. Like, the fight is like not that hard. It's just that like sometimes if you're trying to get in and get close so you can use your bombs and do damage, you get hit by eggs that get mistimed and stuff like that. It's just like it's the risk of the run, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, really simple, really fast second phase there. Like the feathers look threatening, but they're really easy to dodge. Now this one can be a little bit dodgy, considering the eggs can be like, they move like parallax with him, and it's really weird. I hate things that move like that, and I hate things in games that move like that. But this isn't too bad. I think I've only got 1 health, and I managed to clutch it. I've had ridiculously clutch matches with Wally Warbles where like frames before I die, I managed to get a kill. And actually, in one of the later bosses, in one of my previous runs, I actually killed the boss and then died in the same frame, but I got the win, so I managed to progress the run. And I was like, okay, okay. But yeah, so we go around the shortcut and we've got Grim Matchstick. I'm pretty sure this is like the boss that everybody is like, this is the hardest boss ever, and hates this boss completely. It's the dragon. Really not that difficult. You can actually kill him in phase 1 on simple mode, which is like pretty crazy. I don't manage to do it. I've done it in a couple runs, but those runs have been thrown out usually because I die somewhere else down the line. I managed to get them usually when I was less experienced at this run. But yeah, honestly, really simple. Just jump over his little like beamy things, dodge the tail, jump over that. You can, as I say, you can kill him before he backs off the screen, depending on like the power ups you manage to shoot at him. I didn't get it, so I lost a couple seconds on that, which would be it would be ideal if I could get it. I mean, that would be like world record pace if I could get that. Nevertheless, I just start tanking it because I'm like, whatever, like he's very close to dying anyway. Get the knockout. 13 minutes World 2 so far, or sub 14 World 2. So we're looking at about 7 minutes of World, which is pretty decent, honestly, pretty decent. And it's that kind of pace that 7 minute World is pretty much world record pace. I think I'm still ahead of the world record right now. And I can imagine that I only falling behind. You'll see in the next World at least. So yeah, pause timer, Mr. Dice's room. I guess I should explain the way that this run ends. So obviously the run, usually it would end with like killing the devil, but in this run you don't collect any contracts, so you're like you're completely unable to actually fight King Dice or go into his casino or fight the devil. So the run actually ends on selecting all bets are off difficulty mode. So yeah, we're on Rumor Honey Bombs now. This is like a very simple boss. I kind of mess up here a little bit. I lose like a second or two on that, but it's not too bad. Basically, she comes down from either side of the wall, and she'll pick a shape to use. I much prefer her using, I actually messed up there as well. I prefer her using the circle. It's a lot easier. It moves around a lot faster, but it's also like, it doesn't shoot out extra triangles. Now, you can actually go above the level here, outside of the screen, and just hit her body, which is what I do, because it's like, really easy kill. If you manage to get her into that before she does it, like, if she only does it one side, comes in on one side, and you manage to get her into her middle one, I think that's a good cycle. You don't want her to do two, because it kind of just wastes time. If you can do enough damage to her, even if you tank a hit to the point where you can get her to come down from the middle on her second like drop, it's perfect. It's perfect. I don't think you can do it any faster. I have absolutely no idea, but honestly, like, all you have to do is go up above it. Don't be scared. Nothing can hit you up there. Just jump above, smack the hell out of her. Really free. Now, Dr. Cal's robot. This is where I mess up. This is my first ever time using the rockets, using the bombs on this boss. I get a really fast head, like I destroy his head really fast, but I take stupid damage from one of the little ships that come out. I take another bit of stupid damage. I don't even know where I got hit from, and I die. But thankfully, I die really early into the fight. I didn't invest too much time into it, so I was like, damn it. Let's just keep going. We'll start again. And this one was far cleaner. We do it again. We managed to kill the head before it shoots off a laser. I try and play a little bit safer. I still get hit though, which is really annoying. But I stopped trying to go like constantly for the bombs, because I'm just like, it's clearly putting me off. I'm not experienced enough to like really use them that well. So I fall back a little bit. I definitely like play a bit safer, which definitely, I mean, I'm losing time at this point already. So I don't know why I went for safe strats when I'm quite literally losing time. But the run was still looking really good. As you can see, I'm still a minute ahead of my personal best. Like, I'm still ahead of my PB. So I was like, I'll be damned if I'm not at least finishing this run and getting a new PB. I'll be damned if that's not happening. So yeah, really free, really easy. I say really easy, even though I died on it. It is really easy, but there's a lot of stuff that can like distract you. The bombs can like mask the nuts that can hit you, or the ships can just like, they make things a little bit more chaotic. But if you keep calm, it should be pretty free. It wasn't for me, but and that was pretty much where I lost world record, like right there. That lost me like at least 30 seconds, and I was like pretty tilted off it as well, and I played a lot safer throughout the entire run as a result, because I was just like scared. I think it was about 20 to 30 seconds, and I was less than a minute I think I was about a minute off world record. So, yeah, I think, yeah, that's pretty tilting. I'm like 40 seconds off second place in the world and a minute off world record, and that was the reason that I got hit with that. So that kind of sucks balls, but it's whatever. Sally stage play, really simple. All you gotta do is just basically smack the hell out of her. Just be careful for her dropping down like that. I got hit by it, but it doesn't really matter. As long as I've got 2 health for this next phase, don't care. She comes in as an angel. If you're not fast enough, a tidal wave will come and hit you from the left side. As long as you have 2 health, you can tank it. It doesn't matter. So that tidal wave will come in as long as you have 2 HP on that phase. And if you can't kill her before it comes in, you can tank it, and you'll still kill her, no problem. If you have 1 health, you have to run to the moon, bounce over it. It's not that bad. I've done it a couple times in runs. I've had to clutch it really hard. Doesn't matter, though. Pretty simple. The only thing I'd say watch out for is her dropping the fan and cornering you. It can be really easy for her to corner you into at the sides of the screen. Just don't do that. Try and stay as close to the middle as you can, or give yourself as much leeway as possible. Right, Marine Corps, Werner Vermin. Another pretty simple boss. It's a lot. He looks deceptively difficult, but he's not that bad. I actually botched this. I'm pretty sure this is where I lose time as well. I botched this run pretty hard. This fight. It should be fairly simple. You just keep slapping him, smacking him here and there. Use the bounce pad to get over him. Not that difficult. Get him into his second phase. His second phase is where he brings a rocket up, blows himself up, and then generally you can actually stand underneath him. I actually jumped another time by accident. You can stand underneath him. You can hit him with your supers and stuff, and it's like pretty easy and pretty free. Now, I should have been able to kill him by the time that he like went down, but I actually let him do another one, so I kind of messed that up, and it was a little bit slow. That is not my fastest split on that, I can definitely say. But pretty simple. The third phase is like a cat that you have to fight as well after you kill him, but this is simple mode, so it's not that big a deal. So we're gonna move on to Captain Brinybeard now, which is like on the beach here. This is the third last boss of the game, so we're literally we're 4 minutes away from the end here of the run already. And you know, it's not a very fast run, which is why I like it. I've always wanted to do speedrunning, and I've never picked a game because I was never really particularly good at any game, and I don't think I'm that good at this one, which is like largely in part where I'm like why I'm like doing a commentary video on it, so that like maybe you guys can be interested in trying it out yourself. Because I mean, I had like 5. I've not even completed the game, ironically. I've not even finished the game. I just was like, I just enjoyed the bosses, and I was playing on simple, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna speedrun this, and then 6 hours later I was like 3rd fastest in the world. So I guarantee that if you want to try this out, you could probably do it. Yeah, it's really easy. He has like an RNG, you'll call in like an RNG mob to help him. The best one that you could possibly get is either shark or the octopus, the squid thing. The catfish come from the right, and they're really annoying. The dogfish, sorry, come from the right, and they're very annoying. They push you back a little bit. Basically what you just want to do is keep control of the barrel, make sure it drops before it gets to you, and doesn't like put you off. I play a little bit safe around when he shoots the pellets out of the squid, but it's not that bad. So we got their final airplane one of the game, airplane level against Calamaria. I take a hit here off the ghosts. All you gotta do really is just like you go into your dash and move up or down when they go to charge. Really not all that hard. But yeah, basically this is my first time ever going against her with the bombs as well, which is a little bit, I kind of mess up here and there. I take another bit of damage. I take 2 damage in the early stages of the fight, which isn't actually very good. Really should have played a little bit more safe, but I do get decent damage on it. I think this is probably one of my faster splits on this boss in particular, which isn't like, I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of room for improvement, but I think it was pretty decent nonetheless. So after this, I think she has her electrocutes come up, the electrifier. There is actually a safe spot. We're not going the safe spot right now. I can't be hit by her like petrifying gaze, so it's like I don't get damaged by it, I don't get freed up by it, and I can just like keep hitting her. I'm like, I usually try and clear the electric heals, but I just figured I hit her with the like super mega attack thing, so I was like, I'm gonna go for this. I'm just gonna go for like trying to take her as fast as possible rather than like trying to clear the other eels with super attacks. That was like my fastest. That was a gold split there as well. So that's like the fastest I've ever done that. And it was also the first time I'd ever done her using the bombs. And now we're on to the last level of the game, which sounds a bit bizarre, but yeah. So this is actually, we're coming up on world record time right now. I was like, think I'm like 9 seconds off world record here, or something like that. Really, really disappointing, considering this is such an easy boss to go against. Phantom Express is not difficult in any capacity. Like, the only damage that I take during this is intentional damage so that I can actually like put more out. So like, I have never been hit by this boss. All you do is aim up and shoot, and then that's it. Like, he's gone already. Move to the left side of the screen, and then wait for one of the weird lollipops to come up. Pretty simple. You can hit him with supers if you want, but you want to take out the left one first. Move to the right. And then I intentionally soak damage here so that I can get to this point of the stage. Purely because it's just like easier for me to move around like there. I almost mess it up by accidentally like having the cart move left again in the middle. Doesn't matter though, because I've already knocked him out. So that is going to be the final boss, and then time is coming up when I enter Inkwell Hell and enter the casino. So it was a decent run. It was definitely a decent run. It was undoubtedly my best run ever, and it's also should be, hopefully, if this gets validated, the 3rd best run in the world. I have no idea if it will get validated though, because I'm nervous, because I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be good enough or whatever. But yeah, all bets are off. That's time on selecting of the difficulty, and yeah, so there's no final boss here. There's no dice king or devil, just because we don't have the contracts. But that is simple all bosses Cuphead, 22 minutes 25 seconds 0.45. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed a little bit looking at speedrunning. I love speedrunning deeply. I watched HGDQs every single year for like 4 years, like 2013, 2012 maybe. I think I remember seeing 2011 on like 4chan or something as well. I don't remember. But yeah, if you're into speedrunning and you like aren't sure what game to go for, and you want a game that you might actually chart on, like you might actually get on the table for it, Cuphead has got basically no runners for it right now. I'm like 3rd in the world, but there's only like 10 runs for this category. Like, let me check right now. For this category, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 10 runners. I am the 11th runner that has ever ran this category and recorded it. So you're like definitely in with a good shot. I mean, the number 10th is an hour. Like, you can do it in an hour. Trust me. Like, it's not that hard. Like, my first ever run was 34 minutes, and that was literally 6th place in the world. So you're like, you know, it's not that bad. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this video. I hope you actually enjoyed it in any way. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow with the League of Legends video. This was just something a little bit different. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Take it easy. See you later.